up. It's up.
Cheers.
They've been doing this for hours.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't even been here for that long, but they've been doing this for hours.
Yeah, just so the audience knows, Kat and Noelle decided to have like a champagne toast to celebrate the end of the episode without us, even though we're recording tomorrow and we're all going to see each other at that time. They just wanted to flaunt their obvious wealth before the peasants, Juniper and me.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Q&A live stream, the last Q&A live stream of Dames and Dragons.
Whoa.
Yay.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy stuff. I am Kat. I am no longer your DM. I'm just some guy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's harsh. That's a harsh start.
I don't know how to interact with you without the hierarchy.
Yeah, it's tough for me.
I'm still in charge.
Am I supposed to bully you?
No, I'm still in charge, but I'm
okay,
just
that
some
makes
guy.
sense. That makes sense. Hi, I'm Noelle, and I'm also just some guy. I don't play Fran, and she's not a Genasi wizard. Well, she is.
Changed her species and
She is somewhere, I guess.
okay. I'm Juniper. I'm not some guy.
Whoa.
I'm Juniper.
Whoa.
And
Nice.
Hey, that's self-confidence. That's cool.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
And I played.
That's awesome.
Shut up. I played. Hey. Actually,
I have such bad energy.
your energy is atrocious. It is vile.
It's because Noelle and I are sitting next to each other.
Yeah, I know.
Shouldn't have had all that fucking champagne.
We've got in the
You
same
guys have,
room
like-
energy, and
yeah.
you guys have live stream, in different rooms.
We have
energy,
like
and
in
we're
our
like-
house, like just trying to live.
I have
you guys
to
have,
wake
like-
up in the morning and record energy.
You guys have like rich couple that runs a small business on vacation, streaming,
Yes.
coming into stream for their like poorly underpaid like employees.
We own an Airbnb and we just spend every time just insulting the people who come to stay at
Oh,
our
absolutely.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
We run a podcast where we insult the people who stayed at our Airbnb.
Oh, you talk shit about them. Yeah.
I would go to an Airbnb that
funny.
did that though. Like I would go there so hard.
Okay, as a fictional podcast premise, that would be really good.
It would actually be really good.
It's really good.
Oh, anyway, who are
boy.
you?
Anyways, I played Corbin, and no
Wow.
longer.
Amazing.
He's been cut loose. He's floating away.
Powerful
Bring us
stuff.
home, Errol.
Hi, I'm Errol. You know me. I played Slake, and as I previously stated, will never do so again. Not
Wow.
even under duress. Not even if the very earth should split and the heavens should fall from their foundations. And we're gonna cue some A's, baby.
We're gonna cue some A's.
We're going to QAs.
I feel like if we do a bonus episode or something in the same world with the same characters,
Well,
I think-
wait. Me and Juniper will be playing Fran and Corbin.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
I will
But
do
I'm
it.
saying, what I'm saying is,
Yeah, no.
is Errol will be playing Blake.
Yeah,
It's like
The
I
half
will never be
human.
addressed.
Now I
Right,
have,
the
wait, I
half
have a
human
deep cut.
fighter.
I have a deep cut. Errol could play Shaw.
Oh,
remember Shaw? Do we remember Shaw?
That's right.
We remember
That's
Shaw.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
My
I brought-
special boy.
I brought Errol in as a one-time guest to play this fun little character I came up with, and here we are 8
And
years
then
later.
I said I
Here we
refuse to leave.
We refuse to let you.
Yeah. The secret truth is that you actually murdered Sophia to take her place on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Well, I mean, it just seemed like a really good opportunity for me.
Well, you were right.
And that's important. And that's
That's
the most
important.
important thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
right.
Let's cue some A's.
So my first one is how did it feel to finally defeat Torva?
That's a great question. I want to know.
I mean, it felt great for me because Corbin got to strike the death blow. So I felt like I felt like a main character for a little while.
That's cool.
As opposed to normally.
You are the main character.
No, I know, but you know what I mean. Like I felt like a chosen one. I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
you felt like the pro tag.
Yeah, I felt
you
like
were
the pro tag. I was like,
Nice.
yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
Mhm.
I feel like it was like many things in real life where you build something up and it's like very scary, you know, and then you get older and you change as a person and then you look at the thing that used to be like a huge deal and very intimidating and you're like, whatever, fuck you. I'm gonna put an icicle in your butt. You know, like
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
Some of the thunder of the fight was taken out by the multiple ice spears that Fran
So
threw directly at Torva's asshole.
I had the hee hee ha ha's during this fight. Okay.
We all did.
And I realized that I didn't treat it with extreme gravity, but it did have extreme gravity. And I only realized that once he was dead. So,
I honestly think, I mean, you did a great job with the editing. Who did the editing on that one? Is that you, Juniper?
No.
Or was that you, Noelle?
Because everybody was mad at me because I missed editing
I
all the
edited
fights.
some of it.
Right.
Yeah,
I
so it
edited
wasn't
some
me.
of it.
it was me. It was me and
Yeah, I
Arrow.
think you and
Arrow
tag
Because that was the
teamed
one that was like, it was like
'Cause it's
half
crazy
you and half
long.
me because we recorded twice.
Yeah. So I will say you guys did a really good job editing it. I think that
Thank you.
I mean, I remember us having the hee hee ha ha's, but I don't feel like that overwhelmed
No.
the finished product.
Yeah.
I will say
Which in the unedited version, to be clear, it did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
it
not
did.
talk- we were talking nonstop about his asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
We were like
Yeah, no,
really fixated on Torva's asshole for that whole
Like
fight.
some of us were.
You guys might have. Yeah, true. You guys might have been listening, being like, "Man, they're talking about his asshole a lot." But like, just please know,
You
that,
have
like,
no
I
idea.
literally- That's
so
like
much more.
1/15.
Yeah.
I cut out so much.
Like,
Like I put all the outtakes about that together into a clump. I
Yeah.
feel like, and it was
Oh,
long. Like
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
it's like a
I
mini.
will say how I felt at the end of the Torva fight was like profoundly relieved because like for me that final battle was 8 years in the making of like I knew from I wouldn't say like the first episode but definitely from the end of the first arc that was where everything was leading to, and then I also knew that wasn't the end. I was just so glad to be getting to like this, and it felt like that was the point at which I was like, okay, now things are wrapping up. This is like the first checkpoint, and then it was the Kai fight, and then it was the Forces fight, and like those 3 fights had been living in my brain for like 7 years. So the specifics of them, like these specific mechanics, I didn't come up with those until I don't remember how much time before we recorded. I ended up doing a lot of the prep for pretty much the entire final battle, Torva fight, Kai fight. I ended up doing all of that way before we recorded, which I don't usually do. I usually only do my prep like the week before.
yeah, I think we kept getting delayed. Partially is why.
Yeah, we got delayed, and then things just kept taking longer than I thought they would, which is like always what happens in D&D. But I had really planned out those battles a long time ago, and thank God at the time I was playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, so I had like more fun mechanics that I would have had before I played Baldur's Gate, because that game is like, it's not a perfect primer on how to play D&D, but it is a really good for like, I think like if you're a DM, it is a really good game to play to like remember like, oh, this is how movement mechanics make the game more fun. Because usually we ignored movement. And then this fight, I was like, I'm going to put the platforms and stuff that they have to move around on, and we have to keep track of movement. And that makes it more fun.
It did feel more unique for that reason too. Like it felt like more of a unique fight, which was good, I think.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really funny how actually utilizing all of the rules of the game makes it more fun. Crazy, I know.
That sounds-
Absolutely insane.
That doesn't sound like us.
I know.
That doesn't sound like us.
I know.
That's
I know.
crazy.
It's
I feel like
crazy.
maybe you're possessed by someone. That question is from Flickerbee on Tumblr. So I have another question from our beautiful listeners. This is from Anonymous on Tumblr. And they said, what is your favorite element of character growth for the character you play? / what have they done that makes you proud of them? Kat, I assume you can answer for Mary or another NPC, whatever you think.
Yeah, I think the character growth I'm most proud of is Dawson. He did not grow. He did not change. He remained true to himself right up to the very end.
That's beautiful.
Wow. And that made you proud.
It made me so proud. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's a valuable
interesting.
lesson for all of us.
That says a lot about your values, Kat.
if I'm being honest, that's a very hard question for me to answer because it's a lot less organic for me than it is, I think, for you guys. Because
True, yeah.
anytime, like, if I'm like, Mary's going to have this character growth, I would be like, this is a plot point that I am planning out weeks or months in advance. So it's a little bit different for me.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of Dawson for never changing and for always remaining true to himself, which is horrible.
Juniper, what about you?
Mean of you to call me out like that, but I guess I can say I liked that I think I managed to pull off for Corbin character growth from the form of like, I think he just generally got more mature towards the end. Like,
Definitely.
Like, I think he was not so like, because I know at the very beginning, I played him kind of like a crybaby, I think. And he had no tears, but I think he got more like emotional.
Yeah, I would
Towards
say he
the
became
end.
more emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which I think was good. And I'm proud of him because I think he allowed himself to exert more of his actual intelligence towards the end because he came up with like the plans and stuff that we did for that. So I was proud of him for not just being the stupid little joke boy. I mean, he still was, but like, he had multitudes more so towards the end.
I think you
of the
did a good
campaign.
job of balancing that, of him still being the stupid little joke boy, but also having depths.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I think a lot of that character growth was actually in the arc when Noelle was gone, when Fran was gone.
Yeah, because without Noelle being a straight man, I think, I mean, not that Corbin became a straight man by any means. I think Slake did more so than Corbin, but I think it helped him to find his, I'm gonna say
His mojo?
gonads. Mojo's a way better choice of words. It helped him to find his mojo. Thanks, Kat. But you know what? I'm glad I said it for the expression you're making right now.
Wow.
Errol, what about you?
I mean, I feel like I've definitely talked about this before. And so I've probably said the same thing. But just, for me, it's very much like Slake learning to be more open about expressing anger and, not feeling like the need to people please. So, I'm proud of them for when they yell at Fran and Corbin. I'm like, good job.
Yeah, good job,
I was
buddy.
also proud of Slake for that.
Yeah, it was fun listening to, I've only listened to the beginning of our last epilogue, but I had fun listening to Slake tackling Fran into the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I just listened to the epilogue and it did make me a little emotional. Like I won't say I
haven't
cried
listened
because I
yet.
was out in public at the time, but I did have a little like,
I cry in
it's
public.
over. Noelle, you dodged the question, I feel like.
I have not dodged the question.
Hey,
I've
Noelle,
not
why are
had
you
a
dodging
chance
the
to
question?
I haven't
Why are
had
you
a chance
dodging
to
the
answer
question?
it.
Hey, Noelle.
It's
Why are
really
you
funny
dodging?
that you would tell me I was dodging the question when I was about to be like, hey, you guys, you didn't let me answer. So, Fran has gone through, a lot of character development right at the end. I don't know if I could say I'm proud of her.
I'm proud of your toxic daughter.
Her choices. I do love my toxic daughter and make her as toxic as possible.
I think right in the last couple of episodes, I think you did a really good job, Noelle, of really bringing, because that was a really tricky needle to thread. Bringing Fran around from she did this horrible thing, but then bringing it around to still being sympathetic to her choices. And I think you really did a good job threading that needle. So
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you.
Oh, thank
Me
you.
too.
Thank you. That's very kind.
I'm also
Thank
proud of you and your acting skills and your ability to be emotional and vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
on the microphone.
Cool.
We all love you.
No, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
I wish I was there to
Thank
crush
you, guys.
Noelle
Thank
and,
you.
I remembered suddenly that I could actually touch Noelle.
yeah, that you
Son
could
of a
make
bitch.
it worse for her. I wish I was there so I could make it worse for her. God damn it.
That's really nice. I would say a moment that I liked as a part of Fran's character development that didn't happen recently was literally back in arc 2 in Danmar. Fran tried to leave the party at one point.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
I remember really liking that part because she's basically I got raised by Torva, I should leave.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then recently, I think the part that I liked the most was her writing her fucked up weird letters.
Yeah, I loved the letters. They were so funny.
She's trying her best in a very Fran way.
Mhm.
I think one thing that was interesting for all three of us was I think we could have gone in a very And then Corbin, from then on, he cried when it was normal and like he got in a healthy relationship. And
That is not the
Fran,
case.
like Fran stayed with her friends and like she never was an avoidant attachment person ever again. And like Slake was like they just became like a badass who just like yelled at people all the time. Like we could have done this like very obvious changeover, but I think it was nice. Like when I was listening, I was giving notes for the edit and listening to the epilogue. I thought that was something that I thought was kind of interesting and very nice, is that we had character development, but they also were like still kind of fucked up.
Kind of fucked
Right,
up.
yeah, they were child soldiers. They're always going to be a little fucked up from that.
I was very intentional about that because I get annoyed when that happens in stories, when it's like characters go through finale and then suddenly they're mentally healthy and they have no problems and everything's fine.
Right.
Like that's one of my like pet peeves for stories, unless it's like, I don't know, like a really young kid story or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was
But
like,
we're not that.
But we're not that. So I was very intentionally like, no, Corbin is like still wrong, but he's better.
Still wrong.
He's better, but he's still wrong.
All right, let's do another question.
All right, sorry. Let's see. This question is from Lynx Arango Schmidt from the Spotify comments. Is there any story you wanted to tell that didn't happen?
Yeah.
This is especially for Kat, but like for you guys too, if you had character things.
So I was listening back to my playlist that I made like way, way back in the early days of this podcast. And it's really interesting for me to listen back to it because I'm someone who takes a lot of inspiration from music. I've posted it on our Discord at least once or maybe twice. I posted that playlist just as something I thought would be fun for other people. I might do this for Patreon. I might do a little annotated version of that playlist and just like point out like, here's which songs inspired which like arcs and stuff, because there's some really specific ones where if you listen to the song, you'll be like, oh, that's Pavia. Like the whole plot of the song is Pavia's plot.
I like that song.
Yeah, it's called Renaissance by San Fermin. Yeah, it's great. That's Pavia. But there's one song by the Mountain Goats, which is not, I would not say the Mountain Goats are my favorite band, but they are on every playlist I have multiple times. So that I think they might actually end up being my favorite band.
I know this about you, Kat. You talk about them constantly.
I know. And I'm like, I'm not that big a Mountain Goats fan. I haven't seen them in concert ever. I've seen Saint Motel in concert 5 times, but I've never seen the Mountain Goats. And I never talk about Saint Motel. So anyway, Errol, you should listen to Saint Motel. You'd really like them.
Oh, I do listen to Saint Motel and the Mountain Goats.
Oh, yeah, great. Anyway, the song is, I forget the title of it, but it is a song that I ended up, so I had this whole plot line that ended up sort of being recycled for Horse Camp. But it was going to be a much more serious plot line about the Vonir, and like there was a character I had in mind of this Vonir who would have met the party and sort of been this tragic figure who was dying but also undead but also like trying to still be a good person. And I had this whole idea for it, but it just never ended up fitting in. I never found a plot to fit it in. And then when Horse Camp came around, I was like, well, I've got one idea.
I mean,
I've got this idea.
It's not too late.
I mean, maybe that'll come up in the next campaign. I don't know. I think.
Oh, I mean,
I love an undead baddie.
In the Gap, like Ainsley wants to be a Vonir. Don't forget about that. Like
that's true.
That was their life goal as soon as they found out about them.
That's so true. What is the title? Hold on, I'm looking up the title of the song. It is "Damn These Vampires" by the Mountain Goats.
Oh, nice.
And it is a song about vampire cowboys. So it's a great song. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
That sounds kick-ass.
Yeah, it's a great song. I really enjoy it.
I mean, your plot also is what I meant.
Thank you. Yeah. It would have been cool, but I just never found a spot to put it into the podcast. I think just when you guys ended up going to the horse fields, it just was not the right like tone for where we were at in the podcast. Like it was just after Fran had left. So it was sort of like. It would
have been like such a downer. Like
it would have been such a downer, and we really needed an upper at that point.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I ended up just dropping that storyline. But that's one that I always think of, like, I wish I'd found a way to fit that in besides Horse Camp, because that was just a very
also not the right tone, really, but like
not the right tone. But I recycled some of the ideas in there.
There's a question from the chat. Solar Punk asks, Kat, tell us what Dessa tracks inspired you, please.
Oh, yes. Dessa is another one of my favorite artists. I will say Poor Atlas was a big one. That's on that playlist that I talked about. Port Atlas, and then also Velodrome. Velodrome is another one that was
Oh,
actually
that's a great
really
song.
Yeah, so that song is about fate and inevitable fate, and that was actually a song that really inspired the gods and how they are all. The lyrics in that are like, "We lean to turn in the velodrome, all lines are curved in the velodrome." It's kind of a song about being trapped in this inevitable fate, and that really inspired my take on godhood.
That's
Avernus
cool.
and how- yeah.
Mm.
Did anyone else have regrets, stuff you wish you'd been able to do with your character you didn't get to, etc.?
I think I did pretty much everything that I wanted to do with Corbin. Like,
Yeah.
I could have done other things, but then he would have been like a different character. So
Yeah, I had fully intended for Alden to be Corbin's Phelan,
oh, that's so funny.
and like when it just didn't work out. Like it, and
It
then
worked out.
it
What do
worked,
you
but
mean?
that's what. No,
I mean,
that's
how
what-
else could Corbin be in a relationship?
Well, that's the thing is when it came back in the epilogue, because we didn't really talk. I think Juniper, you did not respond to my message asking about what Corbin would be doing in the epilogue.
Oh yeah, I totally didn't. I didn't say shit.
You did.
I didn't do,
You
I
did
didn't say
not.
fuck
So
all.
you made all of that up on the spot, and when you were
Yeah.
like, "And he's with Alden," I was like, "Yes, the long con."
I mean,
it all
I
worked out in
knew-
the end.
I knew that like Corbin, just based on the interactions that they had, I knew that it was a thing where like they had too much in common to not like gravitate towards each other in some ways. But I also
Mhm.
couldn't see them having like a stereotypically functional relationship just based on
absolutely.
how much they would have butt heads, like just in extreme. But I like that for Corbin. I think that if he was in a relationship, it would be like that. Like he's not,
Yeah.
like he couldn't have a Phelan exactly, but I think it worked out for him.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
Errol, do you have anything? Anything that you wish would have happened?
I have only one, and it's really stupid, but I think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not a Slake one; it's a Mr. Wennell one.
Ah.
Well, it could still happen.
It could still happen.
Well, no, it's a past one. It's specifically, I play him so infrequently, so it's very precious. And
Mhm.
I remember we did one episode where we were doing like, Kat had us give like backstory stuff,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
and we didn't know exactly what she was going to do with it. So it was like give moments. And so one of my moments was stealing the gloves from Dawson. And I hadn't like fully plotted anything out. But in my brain, like when we were doing it, when we were improvising it, I like wasn't sure how much I should be doing and how much not to do and blah, blah, blah. But like in my brain, I always pictured his initial meeting with Dawson that Wendell would have like flirted with Dawson
Oh.
and that like the way that he stole the gloves would have been a way that really particularly was egregiously irritating and like cheeky and pissed Dawson off a lot. And I wanted, that bitter exes vibe.
Right.
Mm.
But I don't know. I choked.
I mean, I still think they have a little bit of a bitter exes vibe.
They definitely
They
have a better
definitely
Thank you. I do my
Although-
best.
I feel like it's more like one-sided, where it's like on Wendell's side, they're bitter exes. And on Dawson's side, he's just like, this is a little worm I can use.
Oh yeah.
This is a little worm
and
I
that's
can
correct.
use.
And I love
That's
that.
absolutely correct.
The one thing that I would have loved to see is not for my own character. I would have loved to see Slake like actually like fall in love.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, the marriage gag was funny. But
was
It was
funny.
really funny. But
But yeah, that's my only thing I think from any of our characters.
Yeah.
Well,
that I
you
would have
never
loved to see.
know.
But you know what? If we do, I mean, like if someone else is willing to play Slake other than you
yeah, and play
in a
Slake.
Wait.
bonus episode, because you're never playing Slake again.
Oh, I forgot.
So someone else would have to
Somebody
play
else
them.
could come
Yes,
on and
yes.
do it for you,
Like,
though.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course.
Then maybe they can fall in love in a bonus
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, well, I can play Slake's love interest since I refuse to ever play Slake.
There you go. There you
there
go.
you go. That'll be great.
All right, from Bam Nordenfelt on Patreon. For as much as everyone makes reference to specific media pieces and Pokemon that we won't judge anyone here for being vocally horny towards, that's confusing. Is is there a specific piece of media that really influenced you, who you are, and how you make art?
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah, so many. I mean, I think anybody who has listened to this podcast can understand that I'm very influenced by Ghibli. All my
Mhm.
black blobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Love my black blobbies.
Gotta have blobbies.
Gotta have those black blobbies. I
Gots
think that
to.
is definitely one of the biggest touch points. And then also Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely a huge influence for me, along with like the JRPGs that I grew up with.
Yep.
Those were also a big like touch point for me. Super deep cut, but Skies of Arcadia.
You've mentioned Skies of Arcadia before.
I
yes.
mentioned it on a previous Q&A. If you haven't listened to the other Q&As though, this is a new one for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. If you have never played it before, it's a wild game, but very fun.
Yeah, I would say mine are like very similar to yours. I mean, I guess like, of course, Kingdom Hearts has the most impact on me of any media of all time.
God.
Yeah.
And I recently met up with one of my Kingdom Hearts friends from childhood, and she's a doctor now.
Love it.
And it was amazing.
You love to see it.
Yeah, yeah. And then I would also say, like, in addition to those, the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie is, you know, it has its flaws socially, but film-wise is the perfect film.
That's true. That's true,
Agreed.
though. That's true.
And I've never gotten over it. And then I would say nobody has read these, but the fucking Dark Tower series by Garth Nix.
Oh, I've read those.
Ooh.
Thank God, Cat.
Yeah.
It's why this is why we know each other. We're bonded.
We're bonded. We're soul bonded.
I've reread those like 10,000 times, and I'm obsessed with them.
I haven't read those in forever.
They impact me
Yeah, those
still
were
today, but like nobody else reads them.
books. Those are great.
They're not his most popular series, but I didn't like his other stuff.
No.
Sorry, Garth. Garth.
You don't like the Sabriel books?
They were fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
I'm a Dark Tower bitch only.
That's okay. That's okay. I've also haven't read those in a long time. I know that the audiobook is really good. It's
I think like most people would say they're objectively better than Dark Tower, but not me, because I'm not objective. Thank you for your salute, Errol. Errol, what about you?
Yeah, I was thinking about this because, like, you know me, I have so many things
I
that
feel
I'm
like
insane
I could
about.
list Errol's. Sorry, continue, Errol.
Yeah.
I do that to you, though.
I know, and I never shut the fuck up about them. But I mean, I'm trying to think of stuff specifically that's more applicable to this campaign. Because, like, there's a lot of stuff for
it
Never
doesn't have
Nowhere.
To be, oh yeah, I was gonna say I could name the ones for Never Nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Never Nowhere, you
Yeah,
know, I'm
me
basing
too.
on my obsession with silent film melodramas. And like, Mr. Wendell is a little bit inspired by my obsession with silent film comedies. And then Slake is entirely silent film unrelated.
Nice.
But I feel like, you know, my big like YA books growing up were like Holly Black's like teen fiction.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Holly Black's a big one too.
And then obviously Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. And then the other thing I was thinking about, golly, I hope it didn't leave my little brain. And a secret third thing.
A secret third thing. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah. Jennifer, what about you?
There's a million. I think that in terms of like unrelated to the podcast, in terms of like my writing and the mood that I always cultivate or try to cultivate in like my writing and art, I actually think the biggest like inspiration and possibly to me as a person is literally
me.
Stargate SG-1. No,
Oh,
shut the fuck up. It's Stargate SG-1. I'm not even kidding. Like
Of course it's
No,
Stargate.
I didn't mention Stargate SG-1. I'm such a fucking idiot.
You idiot.
You're right. God damn it.
But yeah,
Stargate SG-1 is also one of my big influences.
Yeah, it's like the tone of Stargate SG-1 is like the tone that I strive for with like pretty
Can't
much
be
everything
beat.
I create. Yeah, where it's like dramatic but goofy. And like, I just feel like it strikes the perfect balance of tone of any media that's ever been made in the history of the world. Also, Star Wars, deeply.
Good one too, yeah.
Yeah, deeply, deeply inspirational. Also, Studio Ghibli, specifically though for me, Howl's Moving Castle. Like
Howl's Moving
specifically
Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
I mean, it's
Ghibli.
such a fucking banger.
Yeah, it is a banger. That's the one I've watched most.
Yeah, that and also the book Howl's Moving Castle, which I love.
Oh, yeah,
like,
it's good
both
too.
the
Me
book.
too.
Yeah,
I actually like the book better than
I
the
did too.
movie.
I
They're
did
both
too.
good separately.
They're both
and
good. I think they're
different.
very different. They're very different.
Yeah.
And I think completely like judged completely separately.
Mhm.
Yeah, Diana Wynne Jones. I love Diana Wynne Jones.
And then obviously Kingdom Hearts, obviously Final Fantasy, 7, 10, like pretty much 10 up. Although I wasn't
Yeah.
that into 13, but very much 7 and 10, I think are my two favorites. And a lot of various books.
Honestly, Final Fantasy X, like, I know it gets kudos, but it doesn't get the kudos it deserves.
It does not get the kudos it deserves. It deserves
Final
more
Fantasy
kudos.
X is nearly a perfect game.
It is
Someday I
almost
need
a
to go
perfect
back and
video
play
game.
that one again.
Aside from all the gameplay. You should ignore that.
Yeah, you should
got-
ignore
That part is part part of the perfection.
That is part of it.
I don't exactly remember what was going on, but I do remember I didn't finish that game because I got soft locked by like some part of it. Like I messed up something and I could not progress any further. Like
That's part of the perfection.
Yeah. I want to go back and try it though, because I know I've heard lots of good things, but
I mean, the gameplay is psycho. It's not good.
I was about to say
the storyline is amazing.
I was going to say I've heard a lot of good things, and I realized it's from you. From you.
Yeah. The number one Final Fantasy X defender and Final Fantasy X-2, which is better than Final Fantasy X. I said it. I said it, and I won't take it back.
I have one more.
That also is a big influence on me. Sorry.
This doesn't influence my art, but I think it did influence my personality, and that is Psych.
Oh yeah. I agree with that.
I would agree with that too.
You helped me remember my other thing.
The secret third thing.
What was it?
Which was motherfucking like the specific era of like Team Star Kid musicals that were coming out when we were in high school and college.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, like oh my God, Starship.
Yes. Oh my God, Starship.
Yeah.
Like those, I feel like for like comedy and like character interaction were just
some of the best shit. Dude,
so
Starship
good.
is my favorite. Like hands down. I
love
think it's my
Starship.
favorite Star Kid like production of all time.
And then also I just wanted to throw in there fucking Labyrinth. I can't believe I forgot to say Labyrinth.
That's crazy.
Labyrinth.
That's crazy. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to answer one more and then like take a break?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, whatever's clever.
Okay. All right, so this next one is also from Bam Nordfeld on Patreon, and it is, I think, a quick question. What has the grieving process been like, if any, from moving on from this story?
I have not grieved. I think for me, I've talked about this a little bit, I think, is that this campaign went on much, much longer than I initially planned for it to. I thought we would have wrapped up several years ago. And I don't want to say like I was like rushing to the end or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of the work we've did. I think everything wrapped up so well, and I enjoyed every part of it right up till the end. But by the time it was done, I was very, very ready to be done with it.
Yeah, I feel like it felt more like, oh my gosh, this huge accomplishment, like this thing that we're going towards. And it didn't really, I feel like for us, it is like, it's like so wonderful that we got to finish it.
Yes. As people who have ADHD, finishing a big project like this.
It's hard.
Yeah. It's so hard to finish things.
Yeah.
So I felt accomplished. I felt really glad to have finished it and to have put out a product that I am really, really proud of and to have stuck the landing. And really excited for the next thing we're doing. I've started thinking about the next thing we're doing like a year ago. So
that's that's true.
Probably more than a year at this point.
Yeah,
more than a year.
Probably way more.
Probably way more. Yeah. By the time I was writing the final battle for this, I was also thinking about what we were doing next.
I had the briefest moment of sadness when we finished the last episode, the last epilogue, when I realized that it was the last time I would play Corbin forever, no matter what. I had a brief moment of sadness, but it lasted for like a minute tops. And then I was like over it. But I did experience that emotion, and I think it's important to note.
Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing
You're
your
welcome.
emotions with us.
I'm also growing. Thanks, Noelle, for that patronizing gesture.
Noelle and I
I'm
are
just
doing
proud of you.
patronizing shoulder shakes.
But by the by, I agree very much. I was so excited for the new characters and the new like campaign that I didn't linger very much on any kind of sadness. And I have been and was very ready to move on to a new character.
Well, the other thing too is that like literally yesterday is the day that we can say like we're actually like done.
That's true.
So I don't know. I feel like I'll maybe feel more like, oh, like if I play Fran again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What about you, Errol?
Yeah, I was thinking about it because, I think what I remember, this is just so me, like when we were initially talking about, ending this campaign and moving on to the next one. I think initially I did have my kind of usual anxiety of like feeling, a little sad, like, oh, it's going to be over and I'm going to have to do something new. And what if I don't do a good job? And a little scared, like, I'm going to have to make a new character. And like, what if the chemistry is not right and I don't do right? And But then like, because we had such a long process of when we, started to talk about we're wrapping up to when we came to wrapping up. Yeah, by the time we actually got to it, I was like, I've processed that shit. I have been working on my character for a long ass time, and I'm really
That's a good
excited
point.
about him. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like we like came to the end and then we were like, oh, it's the end.
Yeah, we were
We
like
literally
ready.
were like, we're almost done. And then we podcasted the same thing for 2 years.
Yeah.
yeah, that is exactly what happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
That is exactly what happened.
I drew so much art of my new character before, like,
Yeah, I've been
yeah.
doodling this little fucker for like over a year. Oh, also, one quick question before we do our break. I want to do a very fast question from the chat.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
ELS asked, because this will be a quick one, did the team have backup characters in case a Guardian died, or was that not a thing with Mary on the team? And I will say no, certainly did not
We
have a
didn't
backup character.
We didn't have backup characters.
I would have died to have to come up with another character.
You would have been
And
horrible.
I think, and I think that was something that we really decided early on. And I think that's something that is a decision that any tabletop game, but especially with D&D, you have to kind of decide very early on is like, is this a game where true death is a possibility? And we decided very early on that it was not. This is not a campaign where I was like, there was always the possibility, like it could happen. But I think if it did happen, what it would have done is kicked off a storyline in which they would have brought back the
Right.
character.
Or like, I think if one of us had come to you and been like, I think narratively it would be good for this character to
Corbin
pass.
needs to die.
Yeah, like if I had come
Right.
to you and I was like, I want Corbin dead for like the emotional gut punch that would do.
Yeah. You know, I guess I did do that a lot towards the end. I was like, if you guys want to kill Fran, like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
up
were
for it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
were
psycho.
like,
Fuck
we'd start
you.
recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd start recording and Noelle would be like, so you guys want to kill Fran? And we would be like,
Stop
we're like, no.
asking.
Stop asking us to kill Fran.
Don't ask. Of course we want to.
like obviously
No.
yes, a million times
I mean, like,
yes.
I didn't really think that there was like a narratively, like, I mean, like, I didn't have a narrative idea in mind of how it would be satisfying, but I was just like, if there is
Yeah.
a way that
No,
it
there
would be
was not.
narratively satisfying,
could make
do
it
that, and I'm
happen,
open
Why
to
do you
it.
want
That would be
Fran to
great.
die so badly?
You're so fucked up, Noelle.
I just feel like killing someone off at the end is fun and fresh. I mean, it's not fresh, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I will say that is something that every table needs to decide on their session 0.
Yeah.
Is like, is this going to be a deadly campaign or not? Because let's just like expectation setting. And we decided very early on
Yeah.
that it was not.
Yeah,
That
we
was
basically were like, if that happens, like, yeah, there'll be like major consequences in terms of the story, but like,
we'll get him. We'll Deus Ex marry it. Yeah.
or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the mid-roll of our Q&A episode. Is there an echo in here? Because I had to remove all the soft furnishings from my office because I got a puppy. So sorry about that, but endure for this mid-roll. Thank you. First, a little bit of housekeeping. The next episode is going to be our Damien dive. So if you are a Patreon and you subscribe at the bonus episode tier, there will be no interruption in content. But for those of you who are on the main feed, their next episode is going to be our How to Play Blades in the Dark episode, which will be 2 weeks after that. So 4 weeks after now. So if you are jonesing for that last little bit of D&D content that we do before we dive into the new game that we're going to play, which is Blades in the Dark, make sure you subscribe to our Patreon so that you can hear our wonderful wrap up to our wonderful bonus campaign. I'm really proud of how that one wrapped up too. I think we really stuck the landing on that one almost as much as we stuck the landing on the main campaigns, or maybe even more. Maybe even more so. I think you guys are going to love it. If you've been following the Damien Dive campaign, I think you are going to really enjoy the finale. So make sure you subscribe to our Patreon if you are not already. Let's see. Next announcement is that the Arc 8 soundtrack is now up on Noelle's Bandcamp. So go to legendlark.com/soundtrack and you can get that sweet, sweet music made by our dear Noelle and put it directly in your ear holes. Okay, so next we are going to thank our new patrons. I might be thanking some of you twice here because I think somebody forgot to mark these complete on our Patreon interface. So if you're being thanked twice, it's because We love you doubly. That is thank you to Alex, Tempest, Ella, Endless Cupid, Vibelet, and Illithid. Thank you all for subscribing to Patreon. Thank you for supporting us. We could not do this without you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Next, I am going to thank our Spotify reviewers. That's right. Apple Podcasts is dead. Spotify has risen. And that's just where we're getting more engagement. So we would love to shout out to those who are leaving comments on Spotify. We are going to respond to a couple of those comments here. And honestly, just thank you guys. That's my big response to all of you who commented. It is really heartwarming to see all of your messages about our finale episode. I really have enjoyed seeing people's reactions, and it really warms my little heart. I can't say how much this podcast means to me, has meant to me, and will continue to mean to me. And just seeing that it has meant so much to all of you guys has really been heartwarming. So thank you so much. Just to shout out a couple of them, because there are quite a few, but Lily Pads are neat. It was 99. Mallory Pallery 11. Fraxie Ashley. Kim Everest. Thank you all. Cyberpunk.neverland. That's a great username. So thank you so much to everybody who commented. We love you. We love you. We love you. In the future, if you would like us to respond to your comment, leave us a question. We might answer it. Just make sure they're normal questions. And no, if I ask you guys to make normal questions, you're going to make weird questions. So I don't know. I guess make weird questions. Reverse psychology. Speaking of what is new, or rather what is old that is new again, we are going to be trying to get back into the social media game as we all fell off it real hard during the pandemic, and especially after the shitter exploded and was taken over by fascists. So we are on Tumblr, we are on Blue Sky, and we're getting into Instagram. Well, we'll get back to you on that one. We have to figure out how to use Instagram because we are all unspeakably old. But on Tumblr, we are Legend Lark Pod, and we are that on Blue Sky as well. So give us a follow, and we'll be posting some more dank content over there. Do the kids still say dank? No idea. I am unspeakably old, as we previously mentioned. I also want to mention that we have a fan-run Discord. We mentioned it actually, I think, in a few minutes here in the episode. We give them a big shout out. But if you are not already hanging out in our Discord, please go check it out. The people over there are really nice. It's a really well-run Discord. Thank you so much to the mod team over there who are doing a great job. I'm about to, I think, thank them again in just a minute here, but they deserve double shout out. Thanks. So check out our fan-run Discord as well. I believe it can be found by going to legendlark.com/Discord. So please go check it out. Finally, we have our message to Chantel. Chantel, the last age has fallen. The curtain has closed. But hark! On the horizon, a new lark has risen. And from the ashes of our old campaign will rise a new one. A dark one. A bladeful one. So Chantel, the code word is Barb/Bast. The sleeper agent is active. Go.
Will there be a conclusion for the newscaster in the void? And or will they appear again in the future?
There will not be a conclusion for the newscaster in the void. They may appear in the future, though. I have a couple ideas about how we're going to do recaps on Never Nowhere.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet exactly what we're going to do. I think it'll kind of depend on how we end up structuring, like, I don't want to say too much, but how we end up structuring things. I don't know. I've considered even maybe bringing my brother in because my brother is a very talented voice actor as well, doing his own projects. So we'll see. It depends on his schedule too.
Yeah.
My brother actually, he did something for our podcast. He was
he did the
pirate song.
The pirate song at the pirate island.
Yeah, my brother.
Kat's brother of pirate song fame.
His name is Aiden.
Aiden.
Yeah, his name is Kat's brother. I know, but
we did think about making a recap of the last arc literally for that reason. And then we were like, that's a lot of work for the bit.
It's a lot of work for the bit. Yeah.
And also funny. Like for something that like, I don't know how many people would even want to ever listen to it.
I think it'd be so funny though.
It would be really funny. Like we almost did it. We almost did it, but we didn't do that. Sorry,
That was
guys.
too much work. Yeah, sorry.
One more chat question, because everyone has been asking it on every platform.
Oh.
Everyone wants to know what happened to Slake's wife. I assume she's dead.
She died.
No.
She died
Slake's
tragically.
wife is fine. No,
It's
Slake-
actually like not funny that you would joke about Slake's wife being alive still, Cat.
she's fine. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know that she's married to Slake.
Yeah, that doesn't stop her from being dead as hell.
No, she's very much alive. Actually, she got married to somebody else. So
Damn,
Wow.
good for her.
Yeah.
And Karma's a
Can't believe
bitch.
Slake
That's
got
why she died. But yeah, we don't know.
I know. I just told you.
We
She got
don't
married
know.
to somebody
she
else.
Could be, she could be dead, or she could be maimed, or she could be
She's-
like in horrible pain. She
No.
could be in prison.
She's alive. She got a dog. She
I
got
guess
a dog.
we'll never know.
Nope. No, she got a dog. The dog's name is CRISPR. And
Ooh.
Spelled like the gene editor. Also, frankly, I hardly know her. So
Incredible.
I'm sad CRISPR's dead.
he's alive too.
One question that is gravely important is what has happened to the horses.
No.
Oh my God, I can't believe I almost fucking forgot. Yes.
Yeah. So what happened to the
Peaches.
horses? Peaches, and what was Corbin's horse's name?
Brother. I couldn't tell you.
I thought you were saying it was brother.
I don't remember.
That would have been really funny.
Truly don't remember the
It
name
was-
of Corbin's nightmare horse.
I don't remember what I named the horse.
Grandpa.
I don't think
Yeah.
I named it Grandpa.
So
Sterling. Solar Punk has me. It's
Sterling.
Sterling. It was Sterling.
anyway,
That's
the
right.
horses, anytime the horses were not on screen,
Mhm. They
they
were dead.
were frolicking in a field
Oh.
with wild hay and oats.
In heaven.
In
heaven.
heaven. They were
I was
off in a
thinking-
pocket dimension.
They were, when they're not on screen, they're dead.
What if the horses have their own, like, what if there's a horse Torva that they're fighting? And whenever we're not
Torva.
like summoning them, they
Horva.
have to,
Yep.
like, they're busy, like, trying to save horse Avalis.
Havelis.
I like to think that they're Schrodinger's horse. So when they're not in the podcast, they're actually existing in a state of superposition where they're
Mm.
at all places, at all times, in all forms.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to them now that magic is, like, kind of changing in the world?
They'll still
They're
be
gonna
like that.
live in heaven for
They'll still be like that. They
That's
got horse
science.
magic. Their magic is
Unconnected to
not
the
tied
gods.
to the forces or the gods
Yeah.
or anything. They've got independent magic coming from a
The
horse
horse
force.
magic.
A horse
Horse
force.
Yeah, the horse force. The horse force of Hros, which is out in the void doing its own horse thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Untamable.
it's still around. Yeah,
Yeah.
that tracks.
That makes
I
a lot
love
of
that.
sense.
Should I
Yeah.
read another question from the chat? Or
Yeah, if we have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Musashi Don, who we all know as
Musashi Don.
from Final Fantasy. Will Juniper, Noelle, or Errol DM anything big or small in the future? Do they want to, whether they do or not?
I'd love to know this too.
I've been meaning to learn how to GM for 7 years. So we'll see if that happens.
I GM'd a little bit after college, but I don't think I was good at it. I would get really nervous.
I feel like I'd get nervous too, yeah.
That's how I feel about myself too, but kind of for different reasons. I've thought about it, and like if you asked me and I didn't think about it at all on a gut punch, I would say yeah, but I don't actually think I would enjoy it. Like maybe for like a one shot.
If I could do
Maybe.
something small and weird and like
Yeah.
maybe not combat based and not a lot of math.
I
Like,
I
if
would
I
be fine
could-
with combat actually.
I think Errol, I think you would be really good at running something like Honey Heist, where it's
Ooh.
like
Mm.
a very simplified system that is a
Mhm.
very goof space.
I do love goofs.
Mhm.
Yeah. We do have the RPG we bought at the Ren Fair that we need to play
Oh, that's
eventually.
true. Yeah.
Oh,
About-
yeah.
about the Butter
like,
Princesses.
I like how I have extensive notes on how to GM it.
Okay.
We just have never had a
sick.
chance to do it.
Hey,
do
you know
it.
what?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Bonus
maybe that's a bonus
episode.
campaign. Yeah, maybe that's
That's
a bonus
true.
campaign for
That's
this.
true.
Yeah, we could
That'd be
do
fun.
that.
That'd be
yeah.
fun.
But I struggle too much to finish my own stories like outside of this, and then I also struggle too much with like I'm a creative control freak when I'm writing the story, and so like I just don't think it would be fun for anybody. Like,
Hey,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I struggled with that DMing too.
mhm.
I'll be honest, I don't want to give up control.
Oh, thank God.
No, and that I love that, Kat, because I don't want to take control. Kat, we're perfect.
I've played
Marry
as a
me.
player in various things. I'm already married, and that we don't practice polygamy in this country. But
Wow,
we,
that was a really harsh rejection, but I respect you.
thank you. What was I saying? I got distracted by considering polygamy.
Marriage proposal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You didn't want to give up control, Kat.
Yes, I don't. No, I've played as a player in other campaigns, and this is going to sound incredibly bratty, but I do get bored as a player because it is not always about me, and I'm not always talking. And if I'm not talking, then it's hard for me.
I'm grateful.
That's why you're a perfect
that's what-
GM, Kat.
I'm
That's
so
why
grateful.
We need each other.
We need
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
I am not an extrovert, but I have extrovert energy that I can spend on this.
You can use. Yeah. Because I love to world build and come up with fun stuff, but I also I don't like talking for too long. Like, even when I stream, I get I'm fucking tired. And I just would want to control everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'd be okay at it, but I just feel like I wouldn't have a good time. Like, even if I did okay, I think I wouldn't enjoy it as much as being a player because I feel like I can just cause so much chaos as a player that I couldn't do without being an asshole as a DM. You know?
Fair.
Yeah. And I think on the flip side of that, whenever I'm a player, I am one of those players who comes to it with way too much backstory and way too many plans for my character because I'm used to DMing and having all that total control. So yeah, I love being a forever DM, and I love my players. I love all of my friends so much.
We love you, Kat. We're so fucking lucky.
All right, we're going to move on to some campaign agnostic questions. Well, sort of. This is from Canvas of a Billion Suns on Tumblr. Question for Kat, although I think maybe we could also have input on this, but I know you've talked about doing bonus stuff in the future with the Guardians. And I think everyone's hoping that the Cross Camp crew returns.
Yeah.
But beyond that, do you think you'll set any more campaigns in Avalis?
Probably not. At least not for a long time. Like we said earlier, we spent a really long time in this world, and I really ended up kind of telling all the stories that I wanted to tell in it. And I'm very proud of all the work I did with Avalis. Someday I might do a world book. I don't know. I think right now my biggest thing is that I just need time away from it. Just because, like I said, it's been a long time. I've been in this world for a long time, and I really want to work on new stuff.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And I'm very excited about the new stuff you're working on.
Me too.
Another one that is semi-campaign agnostic. What is a piece of merch that is simply too impractical to make or sell?
Yeah.
But we wish we could.
The belt buckle. The belt buckle.
The belt buckle.
The belt buckle.
Oh my God, the belt buckle.
I've
Did we talk
buckle.
about that on the podcast?
Yes.
I've
we
completely
did.
forgotten. Remind me about the belt buckle.
It was Stir My Worms, the belt buckle.
That's
That we were like, we need to actually make this. And then we were
Yes.
like, we can't do it. It's too much.
No, it would
insane.
be insanely impractical to produce for a product that would not sell.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear.
It would sell for 3 people. It would be us.
I love stupid shit. Like,
Only 3 of us, though.
Yeah, one of us wouldn't.
No,
One
I
of
know
us
it.
would be like, yeah, I'm gonna get it, and then wouldn't.
Me. It would be
It
me.
would be Kat.
That question was from James on Patreon, by the way.
Yeah.
I think there were others. There's other stuff though. I know we've had stuff that we've wanted to do.
We are a font of ideas.
Yeah, we
for
are.
merch and everything
We
else.
are.
Yes.
But
Unfortunately, merch costs money to
Yeah.
make and produce.
And
Yeah.
it's complicated, and it takes a long time to find manufacturers and stuff. And
but my favorite is the idea of making merch of really dumb bits.
yeah,
like
just
Yes.
stupid shit.
what
Yeah,
is
same.
the best to me, like the Stir My Worms belt. Like,
Yeah, like a Stir My Worms belt buckle that's like a cowboy belt buckle, which literally it's the best idea
that
in the
is
world.
fun. So
I
good.
forgot all about it.
honestly, you know what? If we ever find ourselves in a financial situation where we need to start a business, another business, we should go
Belt
into
Buckles Incorporated.
No, we should go into weird apparel.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
if
there's
we
a
ever
market for that.
find
Yeah,
if we ever find
I love
ourselves
weird apparel.
in a financial situation where it doesn't matter if we make a product that doesn't sell ever, then we should also make the Stir My Worms belt buckle.
And I know that's a classic financial situation that a lot of businesses find themselves in.
A lot of businesses find themselves in that classic financial situation. So I think we should just keep it in the back of our minds.
Maybe we could be a front for organized crime.
Oh,
And then it wouldn't matter that we
Ooh.
didn't
That's
sell
true.
anything.
Yeah, 'cause then you
A
don't want to
great-
sell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great
You-
money laundering scheme. Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Absolutely.
we'll tuck that in our back pocket.
Yeah.
My worms money laundering.
One person, I think anonymous on Tumblr, asked, "How do you balance the podcast with your normal jobs?"
Ugh.
I die.
Yeah, we just die. We
just
all
die.
have full-time jobs,
Yeah.
and it's a lot.
I'll be honest. I have one of those sort of you hear about them corporate jobs
I
where
actually
like
do too.
yeah, Junior and I have similar
Yeah.
jobs where like technically we have a 40-hour job that is perhaps 20 hours most weeks.
Yeah.
But we do have to sit at our desks for 40
We have to
hours.
be there the whole time.
Yeah, we have to be at our desks for 40 hours, but only have perhaps 20 hours,
Yeah.
sometimes less.
We
of
also
work
have
that we
one of
do.
those really rare jobs where we get to work from home pretty much all the
Mhm.
time. So
Yeah.
that does make it easier for us to do
Yeah.
editing and stuff, I think.
Yeah, I do a lot
But
of
Noelle
writing.
and I are in-person boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we just have to die, and that's why we
Yep.
had a hiatus that we didn't announce.
That is partially why we had a hiatus. Also, though, like a ton of shit was just happening in our personal lives
That's
around that
true.
time.
It was-
in
it
addition
wasn't
to
just
everything
jobs.
else.
It was
Yeah,
just,
like,
it was like so much.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
We can't say it won't happen again because we do all have lives.
Yeah.
Well, but we do also have an audio editor now that has helped.
Yes,
That-
So
like I was.
much.
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I was
been
gonna.
really
That's
nice.
what I was gonna say. Is so we have died less because we have
Mhm.
hired on an audio editor. We have Wray Van Winkle helping us out with
Yeah.
some of the passes on the edits, and
Mhm.
She's amazing.
it has been so wonderful.
Yeah.
and so amazing.
It's been really, really good.
Hell
And
yeah.
we love her.
Yeah.
We love her.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Ray.
Thank
We love
you.
you.
We forgot. We were going to
Oh,
thank the Discord mods.
That's
Well,
right.
we didn't forget.
Well, you're right. We remembered it right now. I want
We
to put
just
in
remembered.
a big shout out here in the middle of the episode. Meant to do it at the top of the episode, but here we are in the middle of the
Here we
episode
are.
instead. Big shout out to the mods on our fan Discord. We are not in there a ton. We've left that very much to be a fan run space. And I just want to give a big shout out to the mods over there.
Thank you
'cause-
guys so
Mhm.
much.
Thank you so
You
much
guys
for
are
all you
awesome.
You do such a great job
Yeah, you
And
did
I
a
lurk
really good job.
because I'm creepy.
Yeah, I was reminded of
don't.
this because I started
I don't
lurking
either.
just to see people's reactions to the finale. And I just think they've done such a great job making that a really fun and welcoming community. So if you're not on
Yeah.
the fan Discord, please join it. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's probably Legend Lark on Discord.
No, let me see.
I
I'll
think
just
it's
pull it
been
up.
changed to Legend Lark. But if you want to go to the Discord, you can go to legendlark.com/Discord. I set up a shortcut.
Oh, you're so
Nice.
smart. You're so
Genius,
smart and good at
you
genius.
websites.
can get there and you can join.
Yeah. Big shout out to those guys.
All right.
More questions.
All right. So those were my campaign agnostic ones. I was thinking maybe then we would move into questions about our new campaign, of which there are several.
Woo!
So never nowhere questions. A question for Kat and a question for the players.
Okay.
First, I'm gonna. Well, this could be for you too, Kat, I guess. But from Guy Lepic on Patreon, what was different about how you made your characters for the second campaign?
Oh.
Did you approach it differently the second time around? So I would say, I mean, it's not really our second time around, but like this is our second time around for doing something that is long term, and I do
Mhm.
approach that differently than like if I'm making
That's
something
true.
for a short thing.
Mhm.
Because usually if I'm making something for a short thing, my number one priority is like, what bit am I gonna
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
what bit am I gonna do throughout? When I'm creating a character for a long thing, both when I did Fran and when I created my new character Pepper, I was like, I need to have more than that. Like we can have bits, but like that's not the priority. The priority
Mhm.
is kind of more like who is this person? But in terms of like Pepper creation being different than Fran creation, I've said this before, but my main priority with making Fran was to cause problems. And I got the sense before I made Pepper that some other people's main priority was to cause problems. So I was free from that responsibility. And so my main priority with her was just like, what sort of story do I want to tell?
Mhm.
You know, like what do I have percolating around in my head?
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was thinking about it and it's really funny because, yeah, it's not the second time around. I feel like it's for the podcast for me, it's like kind of the third time around. And
Mhm.
like, I feel like I just keep getting more and more insane in terms of like putting a lot of thought into it because
Mhm.
Slake, I feel like, you know, kind of a loose sketch. And then like Wendell was definitely more developed with backstory and concept. And then this fucking guy with my new character, Friedrich, I just like went completely nuts. And I guess it's because I had so much time. Like both Slake and Winkle, I had to develop a bit more quickly, but I had a really long time to come up with this character. And so I was like, yeah. And when I made Slake, I was like, what's going to be, you know, good for the party that already exists and what would slot in and be funny and have good chemistry. Whereas with this new character, I'm just like, I'm synthesizing all of my weird interests into a character that I think will be funny to play, but will also, you know, scratch all of my weird itches. So
Nice. Juniper, what about you?
Similar to Errol, I also was fully self-indulgent when creating my character. I was like, I just want to make a bitch. Because part of how I approach also making characters for, like Noelle said, long campaigns is what kind of character can I tolerate playing for a long time?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that is not always the character for a short campaign. And like sometimes I think that's almost why I like my shorter campaign characters like more almost, because they're like so like short and sweet and beautiful and stupid. But I want more than that for a long campaign.
Yeah.
So I was very self-indulgent with Valerian. And I also specifically wanted to do a character that was not like Corbin. I wanted to do a character that was very different from Corbin in like a lot of different ways. And I also, like Noelle, got the sense that someone else was going to be the primary troublemaker. And I also wanted to have a character that was like a little bit of a conflict, like had some conflict going on, or like a character that could by no means of their own intention cause conflict.
Right.
Whereas I feel like, I mean, I guess Friedrich doesn't really want to cause conflict, but I feel like
I mean, Fran didn't want to cause conflict.
that's true. Yeah. Friedrich is such a
Not her
walking
fault that
conflict
nobody
machine,
ever agreed
though.
with her
Like-
and her insane. Yeah, it's true.
I will just say, so before we started recording the campaign, I sat down with each of them, each of these guys.
Oh yeah, this is the main difference.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I sat down with each of the players individually and like talked through their character, and like there was a little sheet that we did that was like, what are your goals? And like we actually went through some more like session 0 type stuff, which we didn't really do in the first campaign.
We didn't do it at all. We showed up recording
we showed up
and introduced ourselves to each other.
Yeah, it was
And to Kat.
Yeah, and it all worked out really well, and I think it turned out fine. But it is a thing that I've learned from it, you know, being a more experienced GM now, is just having that sort of session 0 with each player, especially on something that's going to be long term like this. But very funny. So I would say like, I met with Noelle and it was like, Noelle's like, here's what I have for my character. It's fine. I think we ended up talking like in detail for maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes. And then otherwise we're just like,
I mean, that's me fighting against my control problems. Is because I can't plan out that much. Otherwise I'm like, it's not going the way that I imagined.
absolutely. And then when I met with Juniper, I just realized I ate Japanese food with each of you independently.
We're weebs.
Yeah.
Weebs.
So with Juniper had, I think, a little bit more. I think we had some really good discussions and like clarified some nebulous thoughts that you had. And we like clarified those ideas. And then Errol came to me with a thesis and an entire character arc spanning the entire campaign, fully planned out. We are locked and loaded with Errol's like everything for Errol. We are locked and loaded. I am so excited for all of that
I'm
stuff.
psyched.
I'm psyched. But I just think the difference between the three of you was very, very funny to me. Like,
So funny.
And I met with Errol first too. So I was like, I kind of like expected that. I was like, okay, everybody's going to have Errol's level of preparation. And it was like, no, actually, Errol's insane.
Yep, I'm insane.
And I was like, she has red hair.
I'm surprised that I was the middle of the road.
Yeah.
In terms of
I'm kind of
preparation.
surprised that I was the one that had the least.
Yeah, I am too.
But
I expected to be the least, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah.
But you can't imagine how little I came with.
Well, I feel like with you, Juniper, like we just had some really good, like
We had good
clear-
convos.
we had a really good conversation
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
what you're like clarifying your character's
Nice.
motivations and
Which,
stuff.
like-
So that was really good.
Especially when I'm making a character that I'm going to share like with a DM in some ways, or like with other people in a campaign like this. I actually prefer making it like that because
Yeah.
then it makes me feel less like, obviously he's my character, but it makes me feel less like Noelle was kind of saying, like possessive.
Yeah.
Yeah, of it. Cause it's like, oh, well, we
That
kind
makes
of like
sense.
worked on some of it like together, and like we,
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that that's how we did it. Cause it makes me feel,
Yeah.
yeah.
good.
Kind of on the same note, Brian on Patreon asked, Kat, were there any things that you intentionally made different about the new campaign that you can tell us about? Like stylistically, you wanted more X or you wanted to play with Y,
Mhm.
or was it just an excuse to have a more Dashing Dawson focused game?
Cat.
Yeah, I did some things very intentionally different. One of the things I did is the new setting is going to be a lot more flexible in terms of like what kind of stories we can tell. I'm not going to say a ton about that right now, but just like I've created a world that gives us a lot of room to play. And what I can say a little bit more about is that this is also going to be a campaign that has more off ramps, because I think the biggest thing that I learned from doing this campaign is that having this big, long, very grand story, very hero's journey type story, it locked us into a path that we were stuck on for 8 years. And it was a wonderful 8 years. It was a great 8 years. But
the off ramps are good.
Yeah. So like I have built in very intentionally into this world and into this campaign that, we have multiple ending times where we can say like, maybe we want to pause. If we want to like pause and do something else, do another host camp, who knows? We have that option without it being kind of an inorganic thing. So that's, I think, the biggest lesson that I learned from doing this campaign is just to have an off ramp, like have multiple off ramps, have ways to end the campaign when you're ready to be done with it. Because I think I loved the campaign. I loved Dames and Dragons, but 8 years is a long time, gang.
It's true.
8 years is 2 presidencies.
Okay. Let's move swiftly on from that. Interesting. Okay. Brian again from Patreon. Tonally, Never Nowhere feels very different. Could you talk about that, even if it's not actually true? So like this is judging just from our little preview episode.
Yeah.
That was like 5 minutes with each of our characters, 5 minutes before.
Yeah, it is going to be really tonally different. I think a big part of it is it's a little more grown up because we are more grown up than we were at the beginning of Dames and Dragons. We were all at the beginning of Dames and Dragons. We were all, in college or just out of college. And it was very much more of a YA tone to it.
Yeah.
This is, we're all in our 30s and we hate capitalism. So like that is going to be more of the theme of this campaign.
Is us hating capitalism? I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like we're going to do horrible things to our characters and we're going to like it.
Whoa.
Well,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Speak for yourself.
But
I
yeah,
am.
like
I'm also speaking for Errol.
I mean, to be fair, I've already done. I mean, you don't know his backstory yet, but
I can imagine.
Anyway, but the point is something that I actually thought once we got into recording, though, like, is that.
It's not as tonally
we're
different
still so
as you
goofy,
might think.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Like,
yeah. I'll say like the goofs will remain the same. We are still the same. We're still the same
people. We can't stop
the same
who we
players.
are.
We can't stop.
We
Yeah.
cannot stop who we are. But the overarching themes, it is not going to be a hero's journey sort of story where
No,
they are
yeah.
going to go up against a big bad. There's not going to be even clearly a big bad. It is going to be a little bit more ambiguous. And I think it's going to be a story that gives us room to tell a lot of different stories within it. And I'm really excited for that.
And I think, too, the characters themselves are more mature and also not as, like, Fran, even though she had, like, some toxicity to her, like, very much still was, like, a hero's protagonist. And I think these are much more gray characters. They're not nearly as, like, even though, I mean, I know I don't know. Like,
Without saying too much.
well, no, I mean, like, I'm thinking about, like, all of the times that we said really fucked up shit as Fran and Corbin and Slake. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mostly
That made
as
us,
Fran
like-
and Corbin.
But yeah, I think you're right that these are more mature characters also in the fact that they're not teenagers.
Yeah.
They're
not
all
teenagers.
adults.
Yeah,
They're all adults.
Yeah.
Because we're all adults. And I think we're kind of all ready to tell stories from
it's interesting. Like, I mean, we to some extent we were like, ooh, we're teens, but like being like, I don't know how old we were, friggin' early 20s, and being like, oh, I'm playing like a 17-year-old. It was kind of like, oh, like that's a person
Right,
who's
it's
kind of
different.
like me, but like
Yeah.
younger. Like, I feel like if I played a 17-year-old now, I'd be like, gee, thanks, mister.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Especially because I work with 17-year-olds and I
It's
know what they're
different.
like.
Yeah,
It's
they're
very
like,
different,
oh,
yeah.
gee, mister. That's
Yeah,
every
they're like,
camping
oh,
club.
will.
gee, Miss Noel, I love your outfit. They're cute. Actually, they're usually like, gee, Miss Noel, I hate your outfit, but you know.
Gee, Miss Noel, you look like you have a tumbler.
I did get told that. I did get told that by a student. And another student, I laughed and she said, I love that laugh. And she didn't even know the meme. It was so horrible. And then I told her about the meme. She was like, you're old for knowing about Justin Bieber. So
Wow.
that's what it's like to work
Harrowing.
with. That's what it's like working with 17-year-olds. Yeah.
Like, I can't believe how critically you were injured that day.
These things happen to me at least once a week.
Your resiliency is
You're so brave.
You're so
you.
brave. You're so
Thank
brave.
you. Thank you.
We got another question?
So Savannah Stevenson asks, the new setting also seems quite fantasy and magic oriented so far. Would you guys ever be interested in doing a campaign that leans more towards sci-fi or modern fantasy? And I know Kat will have answers, but I wanted to say, like, don't be so sure that it's fantasy and magic oriented.
Yeah, I think I need to find a system that I really like for modern fantasy or sci-fi. I know there's a bunch of systems out there that do it, but I think like the differences in technology in something like modern fantasy or sci-fi are such that like I wouldn't want to run that as D&D, and I wouldn't want to run that as a system that is not geared towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just feels like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I know there's like Scum and Villainy is, I think, the Star Wars Blades in the Dark module. I've heard some really good things about that.
It would also have to be like not like I'm sure there's like a great Star Trek like RPG,
I've played the Star Trek RPG.
Yeah.
We played it. Yeah.
but it would be like weird to do like a campaign off of that and be like,
but it's not Star Trek.
but it's not Star Trek.
I want to do a thinly veiled Stargate SG-1. we'll do it party of one. Juniper, I'll DM and you'll be Jack O'Neill.
Yes, I'll be Jack O'Neill. Yes.
We'll
Who's
just
gonna
be
be
us. We
It's
don't
just
have
be-
to.
yeah.
It'll just
No
be
one
us
else will
two.
be there because
No,
we
you're
haven't
right.
seen it.
Yeah, you guys can play
Maybe we
like
can-
you
maybe
guys
we
can
could
play
actually get
Alien Genghis
Chantel.
Khan and stuff. Oh my
I
god,
think we
Chantel would
could
actually
get
play that
Chantel
with us.
on the podcast.
Wait,
for that.
shit. Okay, well, we just have to think about that.
We just have to think about it. Oh my god.
Chantel and Juniper and I became friends because we all love Stargate SG-1.
Literally, that's how we bonded.
And we bonded with another kid, but we are not friends with him.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like we got mad at him or anything. We just didn't.
We hate him.
It just didn't stick.
And Noelle and I became friends because Noelle was forced to drive me and Sophia home
Yeah, that's right.
from
That's
school.
right.
That's right.
Our parents paid her.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my
All
God,
right, ooh.
you were like their chauffeur.
Yeah, I was a chauffeur. It was a driving with Stacey
And
situation.
sometimes Noelle wouldn't want to take us home.
Yeah, I just would take them to my house and I'd be like, we're hanging out and we're friends now. And they were like, ha, 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 I'm in danger. Anyway.
I love you, Noelle.
So, all right. Let's see. Oh, okay. We were just talking about that we should like talk about this. What system are you guys using for the new campaign? This is from Ace on Patreon. I know you mentioned not doing D&D this time, so I was curious.
Yes. So I mentioned Scum and Villainy is a Blades in the Dark module. I know that because we're playing Blades in the Dark.
Blades in the dark.
Blades in the Dark, which is a really, really fun system. It's very fast paced. I read this recently and I was going to share it with you guys, but I'll share it with you live instead.
Whoa.
The way that it works is that like the actions you take should be oriented to what fits on a comic book page.
Oh.
So like it has this really fast pace. It's really fail forward oriented. It's a super fun system. And I created a custom setting for it because I love world building. But I do think actually the setting that comes with it is really well done. And like the book is really well laid out. If you ever want to like play Blades in the Dark, it is super easy to pick up and play and like create.
And we're going to make a How to Play Blades in the Dark episode.
We are.
For your
yeah.
edification.
We are going to make it. We're trying to learn how to play Blades in the
We're
Dark.
not recording it tomorrow, apparently, because I haven't written it.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay. Oh, I have a specific one for Juniper. You don't have to answer this if it's a spoiler.
Okay.
Is it a spoiler to ask if Juniper's character is meant to be historical Emperor Valerian or just an emperor named Valerian?
Didn't know there was a historical emperor.
Yeah, I was
Valerian.
so curious.
Did not
Yeah.
know.
I looked it up.
Didn't know.
It's a Roman emperor, I think.
Yeah, I looked it up. He was
Oh,
kidnapped.
interesting.
He was the first Roman emperor ever to be kidnapped and taken prisoner, and he was killed in captivity.
Wow.
Cool.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. I didn't know that. No, I just
Keep that in your back pocket.
I'll keep that in my back pocket for sure, though. I literally named Valerian because I was like, I looked at him and the first name that popped into my head was Valerian.
Amazing.
And I was like, actually, I think I named him after the flower because it's a flower.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So my last question is, what, I guess, non-spoilery thing are you most excited about for the new campaign?
Oh, okay. I have to think non-spoilery thing because there's.
It doesn't have to be totally non-spoilery, but like,
Okay.
Noelle will kill you.
no.
I am in person with you, and I can kill you.
You can kill me. You can kill me.
It'll take
We're
me
safe,
longer. It'll take me longer to kill Juniper. and Errol.
I know who I can talk about in the next campaign that I'm very excited about.
yeah,
Debbie.
Debbie. I was going to say Debbie.
Debbie. We're all excited about Debbie.
Yeah.
We literally have not even met Debbie yet.
I have.
I feel like we did
I
meet Debbie.
haven't.
You met Debbie off screen. I have not.
That's true,
played-
yeah.
I have
it was
not-
off screen.
I've not given life
I've
and
never
voice
heard her
to
voice.
Debbie yet.
That's
No,
true, that's true.
I am so excited. She's a character that like has been rotating in my head like a hot dog at a gas station for ages. Her name is Nurse Debbie. She's a pediatric nurse.
First name Nurse, last name Debbie.
Well, actually, her name is Nurse Debbie O'Neill. She is
related to Jack O'Neill.
Relation to the Jack O'Neill.
I know, actually, he said O'Neill, and I was like, why do I know that name? It's because it's Debbie's last name. Yeah, Debbie
Wow.
O'Neill.
Wow.
She's a pediatric nurse. She wears Care Bear scrubs. She gives out lollipops at her clinic.
And you might say, how is this a character from the campaign that I heard a preview of? Well, just wait.
just
Just
fucking
wait.
Just
wait.
you wait.
You'll just wait and then you'll know.
She has a whole elaborate backstory that you guys don't know anything about yet. I hope someday
need
you
to
find
know.
out because I just love her.
I'll make efforts to find out, Kat, because
Please.
like I'm obsessed with Nurse Debbie and I will do what I need to do.
The interactions so far, even off screen between Nurse Debbie and Juniper's character, have been incredible. So
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
They've been
so
really
hyped.
intense. And
I'm psyched.
I know that Errol gave you like an entire character arc for their character. I have an entire character arc planned specifically between Valerian and Nurse Debbie. So I'll send that PDF to you later. It's 20 pages.
Cannot wait.
Oh, wonderful.
Cannot wait.
I cannot wait because she is my favorite character. I have a lot of
Good.
really good characters that I've come up with, really good NPCs for this campaign, but Nurse Debbie is top of the list. She came to me second after the main antagonist for the campaign.
Amazing.
Nice.
Oh, it's so good.
I have been daydreaming about what it's going to be like to finally meet her.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. She's my
Nice.
finest work.
So good.
Oh my God.
Juniper, what are you most excited about?
Well, I just told you, and it's Nurse Debbie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you've got a
but
backstory to,
I
yeah,
guess-
you've got a plan.
I'm excited. I'm trying to think of a way to word this without giving out actual too many spoilers.
I know.
I'm excited to play in a world that is very malleable.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm very excited to play around in that space.
Hell yeah.
Errol, what about you?
Oh, so many things. I mean, I'm excited. You know, I've been playing Slake, who, you know, is kind of sweet and hesitant and, you know, worries a lot about other people's feelings. And I'm very excited to be playing a character who's just very, very different from Slake. And, you know, to you know, have some messiness there, some drama. I'm really excited to see how the relationships between our characters are going to grow and develop.
Mhm.
It's already been so much fun just having them interact.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
Yes.
juicy friction.
The
Yeah.
gifts and the friction have been
The
really, really
goofs-
fun
So good. Yeah.
and funny.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Noelle, what about you?
I would say I have two things. For one, same thing as Errol, I'm excited to play a character who's really different from Fran and plays a really different role in the group. She's not really like, I don't know, like she's less of a Fran and more of like a seeker, the Gap type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than Fran, at least in most ways. And then I also am excited because I decided that even though we have played many times games where they literally have bards and I never played a bard, I decided in this game where they don't have bards, I'm going to play a bard. So I'm excited to do the music for Pepper.
That's gonna be fun.
because I have,
That'd be fun.
I think I have some interesting songs to share.
Hell yeah.
And I've got one thing to add, which also answers a question that Musashi Don just put in the chat. Is Kat going to give an NPC to the team again to keep them from hitting decision paralysis? I'm excited to not have a DMPC.
Yeah.
I loved Mary. She was a wonderful character. I do feel like my having a DMPC, I think, limited or railroaded certain moments that could have been more open to exploration if I did not have her as a character. So I am excited to not have a DMPC. I am trying to make the narrator more of a character.
Oh yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm going to have a little bit more voice is I'm going to make the narration more of its own character rather than having my own PC. But I'm excited to not have that. I think it's going to be a fun change for me, and it'll help me focus a little bit more on being the eye in the sky rather than on the ground.
Makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I have a couple last quick questions from chat if we want.
Yeah, let's do it.
So from part in Nobody Cooler.
Nobody in particular.
Yeah. Is Pepper starting a Lonely Hearts Club band?
No. She does.
All right.
She works alone.
But she's not a Lonely Hearts Club band starter. And then the other question I wanted to put in was from Riadi, I think, Patrick. Is Noelle going to put that song from the epilogue episode on Bandcamp or anything?
Oh yeah, I will put it on Bandcamp. Hopefully this summer or maybe before the summer, we'll see. I wanna maybe release my fake Kingdom Hearts songs.
Yes!
Yes.
On like Spotify, but I might I have like long versions of all of them. I might make it the long version. So I don't know.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I'm so hype.
This is my wish. But we'll see if I have time and energy to do it.
Yeah, it's fair.
I love your Kingdom Hearts songs. I love all of your music.
Thank you.
I didn't know there was going to be another Kingdom Hearts song at the end. So it hit me. I was out on my walk and suddenly I hear my beautiful friend Noelle's beautiful voice coming through my headphones.
buddy.
And I'm like,
Yes. I still haven't listened to it. I'm going to listen to it when I take Wray somewhere. Oh, he's looking at me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We'll wrap up soon.
Speaking of the man who is looking at you, I think it's probably time for us to end things. Thank you so much, all of our wonderful Patreons who are here on the live stream. Thank you so much to all of our wonderful listeners. Thank you so much to everybody who has supported us in the last 8 years. We truly could not have done all of this without you guys.
Seriously.
Yeah.
When we started this podcast, I didn't think anyone would listen. I truly was like, I'm just doing this mostly as an excuse to make my friends play D&D with me on a regular schedule. And the success that we've found doing this and finding this community of people who vibe with our humor and enjoy what we do has been so special, and it's really been wonderful. So thank you so much to everybody who has supported us. Thank you for all of you who will continue to support us in their new campaign.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody. We love you. We love you. We love you. Kiss, 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 kiss.
Kiss,
Love, love,
kiss,
love,
fall
love.
in
Kiss, kiss, fall in love.
Bye.
Bye.
Fare thee well.
I'm gonna start doing the stream starting. So we
Okay,
got,
stream is
like,
starting.
30
Noelle, get ready to
seconds.
clink.
Oh,
Get ready to click.
oh my God.
Oh my God, you guys. So mad at you. I'm not mad about the wine. I'm just mad about the whimsy.
I'm mad about the principle.
Yeah.
We're literally
Are we live
recording.
yet?
We're not live yet.
So you're just doing this for no one. Who looks stupid now?
You're just doing this for fucking no one, and you look foolish.
You're so
You look
foolish.
foolish. It's not live. They can't hear you.
Is it live yet?
No.
Are we ever gonna be fucking live?
Okay, it's about to be. Hold on.